Hi there, this is Shrikant. Today we will implement custom validation in OutSystems. In our last session, we have built a form to insert new customer record as well as to edit existing customer record. We haven't implemented any validation for email, phone, or address fields. As part of the today's use case, I wanted to implement custom validation for all these fields depending on the communication preference type. What it means is if the user selects communication preference type as email, then I wanted to make this email field as a mandatory field. In case if the communication preference type is going to be a phone call or text message, any one of these two, then I wanted to make this phone field as a mandatory field. Similarly, if the communication preference type is going to be mail, then I wanted to make address, city, state, and the zip code values as mandatory fields. Let's see how we can implement these changes. I'm launching my service studio, and this is going to be my email field, and this is my going to be my communication preference type. So what I'm going to do is I will go to interface and I will select the action. In this case, it's going to be save detail action. Right before the form one dot valid, I'm going to introduce one more if block, and I will apply my condition. So in this condition, I'm going to specify uh, get customer by ID, current customer, and communication preference type ID is entity dot communication preference type dot email. So, this is going to be logical and we need to use here, and I'm going to mention my email field is blank. So I'm going to check here if the email field is blank and user selected communication preference type as an email. So if this is the case, then I will close this editor and I will pass the control to assign to, and I will end my flow here. Okay, in the assign to, we have to assign the variable here. To do that, I'm going to select widget form1, my input email valid. I'm going to mark this as false, and I will also assign one more variable, in this case validation message, and I'm going to provide the validation message which needs to be displayed in case if the user is going to select communication preference as an email and he is not going to enter the email address. Please enter your email address. Okay, we can publish this. Now we can test this. Let's say I'm going to click this SAM record and I'm not going to provide email address, but I'm going to select communication preference type as a email. Click on save. I get a validation message. Please enter your email address. I still I can go ahead and I can save this record only if I select communication preference type as something else other than email. Let's say text. Then I don't need this email address. I can save this record. But in case if I planning to enter communication preference type as email without providing the email address, I should get an error. Now I'm going to provide some email address here and click on save. So it works. Now we have to repeat this step for phone and address as well. To do that, I'm going to have another if, one for phone and other one for address. The phone, I'm going to enter something like this, expression editor. I will say if the customer list current customer, if the communication preference type is going to be a phone, if it's a phone call or and I will copy this. I'll just replace my value here, text. So this is a logical OR condition. Here I'm checking whether the communication preference type is text or the phone call, and phone number is blank, or the communication type you have selected the phone or the text and you have not provided the phone number. So to do that, I will go select this phone number and something like this empty. Then I will display error message. So this phone, we can select phone field. The variable I'm going to select a validation message, and I will provide please enter your phone number. Next, we have to do the same thing for communication preference mail. For that, I'm going to write type is going to be, in this case is going to be May, and we can check multiple fields for address. So first field is going to be get customer by ID. I'm going to check address line first. Address line as blank, or next condition is city is blank, or state is blank, or last one zip code is blank. Okay, if the user selects communication preference type as mail and any one of these field is blank, then also I'm going to display the validation message. So I'm going to select this, close, and I'm going to add some assign to component here and end component. So here I'm going to say I'm going to set email field as true. When the control comes here, I wanted to set value back to true. Similarly, I need to do this step for all other fields also, just to making sure that we can reset the error message. So done for email and city. Need to do for few other fields as well. So I'm going to select address. So address is done, email is done, city is done. Next is going to be probably phone. email, city, address, phone. Okay, let's check one more time. We haven't done state, I believe. Let's do that. Yes, we haven't done state, so I'm doing it now. I'm going to set the value as true. We need to publish one more time. Okay, we will test our functionality. So first, I'm going to create a new record. I'm going to enter name as Roger. Roger at testemail.com, and I'm not going to specify the phone number, and I'm not going to enter address information, but I will select communication preference type as phone call, and I'm not going to enter the phone number. Let's see. So I'm getting the appropriate error message, which is fine. Please enter your phone number. Okay, and I will enter the phone number, and I should be able to save the record. Okay, now let's take some existing record, Sam. Here I will delete email address. Communication preference type is still remains as email without email address. Let's see. Try to save this record. It is throwing appropriate error message, which is fine. Now I'm not going to enter the email address. Instead, I will change the communication preference type to mail, and I'm not going to enter address line. Click on save. So it says enter address line 1. Perfect. Next, we will delete some more address information such as city, state, and the zip code. And we will retain the communication preference type as mail, and we will try to save this record. So we'll get the correct validation message. Enter address line 1, please enter city, please enter state, please enter zip code. Now we'll enter only state, and we'll try to save this record. Okay, still we are getting three different error message, one for address, city, and the zip code. Okay, we'll enter the city as orange, so I'm expecting two error message now. So 1 and 2 validation message. Perfect. So I'll say 123 Main Street and click on save. So still shows one validation message, that is for the zip code. I'll enter zip code, some value, and click on save. That's it. So it is correctly saved record with mailing option as communication preference type as mail with the address information 123 Main Street, Orange, California 87878. That is what we have entered. In case if you pass a text message and if you don't specify the phone number, still expecting the validation message. Please enter your phone number. As long as you enter the phone call or text message, and your if in case if you don't provide the phone number, you still get that validation message. That's all for this video. Thank you very much, and you have a great time. Bye bye.